stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Peter Somerville, Town Council.
John Dolce, Town Supervisor.
Bill Ryan, Town Attorney.
Randy Bates, Town Councilman.
Victoria Craig, for Council.
Okay, good, excuse me. Peppermint. All right, well, if we're gonna speak audience comments, please come up to the podium because we have these new microphones so the people at home could hear us. So please step up to the podium to speak. Do we have any audience comments? Yes, sir.
I'm Ernie Kuehl, as some of you know. I just want to compliment you on doing a good job this year. You've made some good decisions on not going through with all that paving operation and not going through with a short-term rental agreement. Those things are things that would have had ramifications that you didn't realize. And the microphone and
Sorry about that.
that's went over the air now. The microphone and camera are doing great as long as you guys don't talk to your papers. It is really interesting to watch online and all of a sudden you guys will be saying something and start talking to the paper and the microphone doesn't get it.
I'll remember, we have one here also.
Right, you gotta
Project.
make believe you're spacing the camera when you speak.
Okay,
Good job.
thank you, sir. Any other audience comments, please? If not, we're gonna move on to minutes. Everybody read the August 22nd minutes? I did, and I make a motion to accept the minutes of the August.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, motion carried. There are no budget modifications or transfers. Once again, I make a motion to pay all signed vouchers and bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence, I don't have correspondence at this time. Well, I did have correspondence. There's one thing. People in the hamlet had issues with a vehicle that was parked on Main Street, up on jack stands, parked in front of a fire hydrant. We got that taken care of. So the sheriffs were there, they towed and removed it from in front of the fireplace, fire. Not sure why somebody would do that, but reports from the library. We don't have a written report, right? Okay. Supervisor report. A lot, but I'd like to bring up that I signed the health insurance renewal. So that's taken care of. The other thing is Jeffrey Bogue's bench. I marked out a place in the Rensselaerville Park that is, Jason is going to pour a concrete pad next week, possibly, Jason?
Possibly.
And get that installed before winter. It's basically gonna go where there's a wooden bench now. It's actually the only spot that's high enough that won't get underwater during bad times. And that's all I have.
Make a motion to accept supervisor's report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The account, do we have an accountant's report? No.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
but we don't have those. No report. The only report we is the budget versus actual expenditures. The town attorney, Bill Ryan.
Circuit Court to render a decision on, and the bond for the water district, with your banker.
Okay. So the Bogue,
I'm gonna call the clerk of the court tomorrow and find out what's going on, because everything's been down there for a while.
okay, so just so everybody knows, we're not able to disperse the Bogue funds because we need the
Court approval.
court approval. We had a grant that people have applied for and they were awarded Bogue money, but we can't dispense it. And the other one is the bond for the water district. We're working on that. Okay, I make a motion to accept the attorney's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The town clerk.
I forgot Jason.
Hmm?
Jason.
Oh, you threw me off now.
Sorry.
Good evening, everybody. We've been busy at the highway department. 2024 paving is complete. It came out pretty good. I'm happy with it. We did do a little warranty work over on Travis Hill the other day in a spot where that didn't come out correct. Callahan did that for us, obviously free of charge. There is an agreement in your packet with Albany County for the shoulder machine. We have that lined up for the week of September 30th, as well as for the striping of the parking lot. This year, however, there is a charge for their labor. Their attorney, I guess, is telling them they have to charge for labor. That charge is $1,020.17. 71 cents, excuse me. I did speak with Town of Westerlo and the Town of Bern, and they were also charged that charge. I think that's, still the operator for 5 days.
It's a 5-day?
Well, it says to accomplish the task.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I read the agreement. Legal perspective, I don't have any issues with it.
Okay.
Crack sealing is scheduled, is supposed to be completed still this month. All the rest of the projects have been completed. We've been busy working on the Albany County Soil and Water Grant projects. We've completed 23 cross pipes on Hale Road, and I believe 5 driveway pipes. We still have 3 remaining pipes to change, and that project will be complete. We've been working on cutting shoulders and ditching, and I have Albany County Soil and Water coming out to hydroseed some of the places that we've excavated as part of the grant. In addition, we have concrete scheduled for Tuesday for the pipe on Tornator Road. That's all been formed up and is ready to go. Driver training, our new hire Nathan is doing really well with driver training, and he has a road test scheduled for next Thursday. So wish him the best of luck there. I think that pretty well sums up the highway report. In regards to the recycling report, I do not have the numbers for you today. I haven't got the numbers from Collins for August numbers, but I can get them to you for the next meeting. We did make some changes out at the transfer station where we are now commingling the cardboard and plastic and tin. And the reason we did that is they were charging us $6 a ton more for the straight cardboard than they were the mixed product. And I think it streamlines and simplifies things. Also eliminates the use of a container. So we had $10,000 in the budget for a new container. There's really no need for that if we can just get away with the containers we have. We have 2 additional recycling containers out. One refurbished and fixed up a little that we can use. We also received the spare motor for the trash that here at Town Hall if we have a failure on the trash compactor motor. I think that completes my report.
Okay. I make a motion to accept the highway report.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carried, thanks. The town clerk.
Okay, now put for August, everybody has the numbers. I said a month ago that I expected the hunting licenses to be down in sales because of the paper and everybody has the ability to do it at home. But August has proven to be right on where it has been in the past, so, actually very pleased to see that, so, that's holding steady. And the only other thing, of good news is that we have received about a little over $10,000 in donations for the Rensselaerville tennis court in the past month. So that's
Yeah,
been significant.
That's good.
yeah, we're getting there. Okay.
Good.
That's about it.
Okay,
I make a motion, we accept the town clerk's report. I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
okay.
Good.
Code enforcement. Code enforcement report from Tim Lippert. Building permits, $1,034, renewals, 142, file searches, 675. So the total for the month was $1,851. He did inspections, there's violations, addressed complaints. So this is part of his report. We had 2 small businesses open in August. One a restaurant in Preston Hollow, 2 guys local bites, and an agribusiness in Medusa, Velvet Earth Farm. It's a music venue. There was an uptick in property file searches in August. One property listed on the vacant property list found a new owner. There was significant increase in renovation upgrades in the hamlet of Rensselaer. So I had asked Tim to report not issues, but certain things with the planning board for new businesses. So if we know about it, it'd be nice to promote new businesses. But if we don't know about it, how could we even mention it? But that Velvet Earth farm was really turned out nice. It's right by Smith's Corners. I didn't personally go there because they had dogs, but I'm sure that's going to be a drawback for people that want to visit there if they have animals running around. But that's my opinion. But that looks very nice. And the 2 guys, local bites, they renovated that building and it seems to be working for them.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's try to support them. So that's Tim Lippert's report. I make a motion to accept the code enforcement building inspector's report.
I'll second it.
The next one up is the assessor's report. Of August, we received a total of 12 transfers for resident planning and 3 vacant parcels. This is important. We've received a few calls with questions about school tax. This is the first tax bill that some owners are seeing the tax dollar savings due to the new fireman EMS exemption. Others that qualified for the senior age are seeing the greatest savings due to the schools having raised their income levels. This is the issue, though. Middleburg did not increase their levels. So unfortunately, if you're in the Middleburg School District, you're getting hurt this year. They are planning on raising them for 2025. That's what they said last year. So hopefully that comes to fruition. The assessor's report.
I make a motion, we accept the assessor's report.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Water Sewer Committee.
I don't think I've ever been up here this early.
Hey, Ed,
Things are moving along quickly tonight.
let's keep it up.
Oh, no, this gives me time to wax prophetic. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Just a couple of great updates that I think you should hear about. The hydrant replacement project. Last time we was here, I think we talked about having trouble scheduling. I'm not really sure if that wasn't maybe the meeting before. Anyway, it got rescheduled for the week of the 26th in August. Andre Nadeau came out. He was going to replace 4 hydrants and instead only needed to replace 1 because he found using spare parts from the one he replaced, he could repair another one. And so he started going around seeing what else he could repair, and in fact repaired 5 of the old hydrants rather than replacing them. So his invoice to us was a great deal less than he originally estimated because he didn't have nearly as much work. And then came the issue, okay, what do we do with those 3 remaining brand new hydrants that we bought and were sitting on a pallet? And thanks to Supervisor Dolce, he called the supplier and negotiated a return of the hydrants.
To the
Which-
tune of what, $12,000?
Yeah, I think the whole bill was around 14,000. So,
So
yeah,
that was good.
yeah. Thank you for that, John. That was great. So what this means, I see my notes weren't complete there, that both John Rice, the water system operator, and just on my way here, I heard from Chief Hake from the fire department that they're anxious to go out and flush the distribution lines or test the fire hydrants anyway. This will probably be the first time we can actually get a full, complete flush of the distribution system. So great news there. And another note on that, which I also didn't add, I meant to, I think what this means is that we should plan for if not annually, maybe every other year, a maintenance program where we have somebody like Andre come in and do a maintenance check on all, he took them apart. He confirmed that everything opened. He greased up the nozzle on the top, oiled or greased up all the fittings and the caps, so that they're working. And when a fire department or fireman goes to a hydrant to get it open, he can versus struggling with it. So keeping with that, I think that's going to be a plan moving forward that
Why don't we ask Andre?
we already had that. He and I already had that discussion. Yeah. So I'm going to ask him for a quote to see what kind of a, annual maintenance
Okay.
program would cost. Okay. Water District Improvement Project. On the 23rd, the New York State Department of Health and the EFC, Environmental Facilities Corporation, released the draft IUP. The IUP, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, is the New York State Drinking Water Intended Use Plan. It is a government, state-funded program where municipalities like ours can, in our case, an upgrade project for funding or financing. When the report was issued, our project actually scored near the top of the list for the drinking water revolving fund, and at the very top of the list for the bilateral infrastructure law eligibility fund. So we're really excited about that. And when I said that the draft IUP came out, it's actually sort of an agency thing that happens. There's a comment period which the public can comment either grievances against or support for any project. So we immediately let everyone know in the water district that we'd like to get their help to send letters of support. And Brian, who's not here tonight, last meeting had suggested maybe the town board would maybe all sign a single letter that we could send in on our behalf as well. If that'd be great. If we'll pen the letter for you, and if it meets your approval,
That'd be good.
yeah, terrific. That'd be great.
So a question, if I may.
Yes, sir.
What the scope of the next project? Is it the test wells? Is it a contract with CT Nail? What's the
Yeah,
overview of it?
this, there are so many organizations involved, so many different agencies. We actually sat in on a webinar today hosted by the EPA to explain what these steps were. And frankly, it was a 30-minute thing. They went so fast, there was no opportunity to ask questions, and I'm still somewhat confused. So in an order of sequence, we'd need to apply for some sort of funding, whatever that's going to be, grant or loan, for the project itself, which came in at $2.5 million. But then prior to actually starting the construction project would be a design phase. And during that design, before the design phase is completed, we would have to actually do that drill test or that well drill test.
And that was about 100.
And that was 75 to 100,000 estimated. So we still are climbing uphill, and will be for a while. But still, I'm really happy with where we are at the moment. Back on the 22nd, when I came in on the second meeting of the town board, I informed the town board that on the 30th of July, we had conversely received an administrative order from the EPA, which had to do with the fact that the water system is failing to comply with the Safe Water Drinking Act. It's actually a law that requires us to not exceed certain MCLs, which is an acronym for the water is testing in an unhealthy parameter to keep the water healthy. So that had happened a number of quarters in a row. And so finally, the EPA, which we had been on their radar, issued this is a part of their process, issued an administrative order, which requires us to respond with a corrective action plan, which they call a CAP. And so I'm happy to report that the deadline for that was the 29th. We actually met with the EPA, the enforcement officer, who was pretty stern about the whole thing. But they did tell us that it wasn't necessary for us to hire an engineer at this point and at this juncture to do anything other than we did express in our response that we would be hiring an engineering firm if we needed to do that in order to comply with the requirements. That being said, on the 29th, the Water Committee did submit the corrective action plan, and we're awaiting to hear from the EPA if they've accepted it or rejected it. And we should hear from them any day now. Last but not least, the service line inventory, yet another requirement from the EPA, is a requirement for all municipalities to take an inventory of all the service lines. That's the actual pipe coming in from the water mains into the house, to confirm whether or not it's lead-based. As you know, lead has not been for a long time allowed to be in plumbing in homes. And so we're through the project of getting into people's homes and taking pictures of the pipe where it comes through the wall and confirm. We mostly believe that they were all up in the 1980s when the distribution system was updated with ductile iron, which is not lead-based, but the line coming into the house was, we expect them all to have been replaced with copper, which is totally acceptable. Questions?
But when they did the distribution, didn't they stop before it got into the house?
Yes, but I wasn't around in the 1980s. I'm certainly around, but not here. So I don't know how that got done, if it was the town or the water district that actually employed a plumber to bring that part in, or if that was a part of the contract with the engineering firm that did the distribution upgrade.
If I may.
Yes, great.
System was that the ductile iron mains were put in, and then a copper line in K copper, specifically K copper, was brought onto the property and a valve was installed. It was the responsibility of each homemaker to, or each homeowner rather, to go from the valve to their house with K copper, which was specified material.
So the homeowner had responsibility
Homeowners
to
should
replace.
have used. They employed their own contractors.
Ah.
All of the cases that we have seen, we haven't found any lead anywhere.
Okay.
So that's why we're expected to verify or validate that, because there's no on paper as far as. Okay. 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much.
Motion to accept the water report.
Seconded, all in favor? Aye. Current events, a couple things, there's a concert in the Presbyterian Church on September 14th from 7 to 9. And Bill, are you here to talk on the fundraiser?
Yeah, I just wanted to, if I could,
Sure.
take a few minutes.
Most people probably know now that Tim Lippert's partner is really battling a really aggressive cancer. So a number of people in the village, myself and a lot of others, have put together a fundraiser. It's going to go on it's at Conkling Hall on the 22nd. And it's great. It's really a local effort. We set a pretty lofty goal for our fundraising and we're more than halfway there. And this will hopefully get us over the top. So Conkling has given us the space. All the restaurants, I mean, Krista and Ed at the Shell Inn and Micah and Rochelle at QHAR's, and even the Carey Center has given us space to work in and store food. So it's really a great little effort that's come together. It'll start at 12 noon on Sunday and go until 4 o'clock at Conkling Hall, and we'll be taking up pretty much the whole hall. We'll have a bar, a cash bar. There's a buffet from all the restaurants that I mentioned. We asking for a free will donation at entry. And there are a couple of raffle kinds of things, a 50-50 raffle. And there's a real community-based thing. I've gotten like 20 people in the village to bake their best pies, cakes, tarts, all those kinds of things. And we're gonna have like a free chance auction. So we'll auction off all of that as well. And it should go until 4 o'clock. The response has been really good. You can find it online. The GoFundMe site is Stand Strong with Scott and Tim. And that's doing very well also. So I hope we see a lot of people there. And it's been a great community effort. I think as everyone who's had to face catastrophic illness knows, it's something that you do alone, but we wanted to let them know that there was a community right behind them.
Okay,
Thanks for the time.
thank you. Okay, so that's September 22nd, Sunday, Conkling Hall. Next up is old business. We have none. I'll make a motion to, Jason, do I have to, this memorandum of understanding between the town of Rensselaer and Albany County for use of the shoulder machine. So I make a motion to allow me to sign this.
So why don't we do it two ways? The first motion, well, it's one motion, the town board approves the memorandum of understanding between the county of Albany and Bill with respect to the use of the shoulder machine operator in exchange for the storage for millings. and further authorizes the town supervisor to execute the document. Is the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Well, actually,
And we have to make a motion.
you have to make,
That is the motion.
You make the motion. And
Somebody has to say that. Yeah. Just somebody second it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye. Okay.
Here, you can sign this one.
Okay.
Yes, you're a notary, right?
Okay. Next up would be, I'll make a motion to present the tentative budget at 6:55 PM on September 26th. We have to authorize the town clerk to advertise that.
a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. So September 26th would be the tentative budget. Reappoint Brad Chase as Board of Assessment Review Member. His term is from October 1st, 24 to, as long as we reappoint him, to September 30th of 29.
Make a motion, we reappoint Brad Chase as Board of Assessment Review Member, a term of October 1, 24 through September 30, 29.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. This is something that I want to read. So this came from Carol Ash about a voter registration table. She sent an email saying, I'm writing in my capacity as chair of the Rensselaerville Democratic Committee. We'd like to set up a voter registration table at the transfer station on October 5th, starting a little after 7 AM and keeping it open as long as we have volunteers to be there. As you know, voter registration forms are for all parties enrollment, Democrat, Republican, Conservative, working families, and other. So do we have, or is there an issue? I'm a little bit on the fence about that, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I need to research that and let you know within the next week.
Okay, so that's gonna get tabled.
And I'll let you know for a meeting
Okay,
in September.
26th.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other audience comments, please?
Question
Sure.
about is that a 5-minute presentation of the budget?
Yes.
So do we have to have our?
I'm sorry, I can't hear. Do we have?
Do we and sewer budgets in proposed
Yeah,
by
they
that time?
would do when?
Monday.
Huh.
4 days ago.
Ah, all right.
So it's a tentative budget. We're not gonna discuss numbers.
Okay,
Then we're gonna
so it's
schedule,
not a working session.
correct. Then we're gonna schedule budget workshops.
Right.
Where each line item for item, we'll be reviewing, discussing, and going over.
Okay. Those are separate meetings outside of the town board meetings?
There'd probably be 4 or 5 separate meetings outside the board meetings. That's typically how long it takes us to go through the whole budget.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other audience comments? No? I see a lot of faces here. I was expecting more conversation. But if not, I make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, thank you.